Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Danny here from the Gold Coast, Australia. In today's video I'm going to be making over this big massive, it's a monster actually, coffee table. It's huge, it's heavy, it's really well made, and I got it off the Facebook marketplace for $10. I'm just showing you here the size of it compared to our outdoor dining table. Our outdoor dining table's big, this is massive, and it's really a little bit too big for our house, but I'm going to make it over anyway. So to begin with, I just start sanding the top back. I actually got David to help me at one point. He got through it really quickly, and then I just went over it again to take off the little bits that he missed. I just wanted to show you here with my, I think I got an Azedo, it's a 3-piece Azedo sanding kit. So there's a rectangular piece, there's a round piece, and a mouse. And that sanding pad there, I can never find at Bunnings whenever I go in. So, and I never had any on me, so I made my own. I just got a packet of sandpaper that I'd had, and I attached some Velcro to the base of it, and that actually worked. It stuck on, and it worked really well actually, and it got me out of a bit of strife. I think I used a 80 grit, and then I went over it with the 120 grit. Came up really well, but when I wet it, it was very orange, and even looking at it through the camera, it doesn't look as orange as it actually was. So I thought, I don't want it to be orange when I varnish it, so what I'm going to do is bleach it. So I just used full strength household bleach. I put 4 coats on, and the last coat I put out into the sun and let it dry out there, and it came out really well. I was pleased. I had previously done it on a smaller entryway table as well, and I'll put the link to that video up there because that's one of the prettiest little makeovers I think I've done, and the bleaching worked really well on the top of that. It actually didn't come up as well as I thought. It was still quite patchy, still quite orange, and I was sort of a little disappointed with it actually, but what I did was I sanded it down, because after you bleach wood you need to sand it because it becomes very rough, and I was really happy with it at this point. Fast forward to the night time and this happened. I don't know whether it was the moisture in the air because it's been very humid, but it just went wet, like that was actually a puddle of something, and I don't know whether it was the timber's reaction to the bleach or whether it was the actual bleach that hadn't completely dried, but it just looked horrible. So the next morning I went out, it was still the same, but I put it out in the sun. We're actually having really hot heat wave days, so it didn't take long for it to dry, and it came up really nice. I think I might have sanded it again before I actually put on some matte varnish. I had a little bit left over in a little tin, and you know, there's certain points in this makeover that I just wish I had stopped or had done something else, because I was either going to put this matte varnish on, I was going to put wax on. After I put this matte varnish on, I wasn't happy with it. It just looked really patchy, even more orange than it looks in here. So I thought, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to sand it back for the millionth time. When I sanded it back, the varnish, it just went very white and chalky, but I just persisted. I just kept sanding. As it turned out, in one place I think I sanded it a little bit too much, because when now I'm applying the beeswax, which is what I should have done to begin with, I was really happy with it at first. I thought, this is looking good, this should be fine, not yellow anymore, quite a nice colour. But there's one point, and you will see it soon, where I over sanded the varnish just here, and when I put the wax on, it actually went very dark. It was like this big thing staring at me. And anyway, at this point I'm in denial. I'm thinking everything's fine, everything's fine. So I start cleaning the base, but all the while in my head I'm thinking, no, I've got to do something to the top. So just for something different, I sanded it again. I waxed it again. I sanded it again. I bleached it again. And this wasn't working clearly. David suggested I stain it, so I thought I could do a dark stain, but I never really had enough, so I thought I might whitewash it. That didn't work. I thought I would just paint it white. By this point I was desperate just to save it, but when I painted a little bit of it, the tannin came through and it was a bleed through. So I remembered I had some chalk paint that I'd actually made for another little upcycle. I made it from scratch, and I made the colour as well. I called it Humble Green. It's like a vintagey green sort of colour, and I thought this might stop the bleed through and it will give good coverage, and actually it worked. It was a stroke of genius and desperation at this point, because I was so intent to have a nice wooden top on this, but it just didn't turn out. Because the paint had been sitting there a while, there wasn't much left. There were lumps in it, so I thought I'm going to sand it back. When I did though, paint started coming off. That bit there I actually covered up because it was a bit big, but I thought this looks quite nice. I was distressing it, and it was coming up really nice. It was looking really vintagey, and I love the pastel look to it too. It's really pretty. So at this point, this is what it will be. This is what the tabletop will look like, and I'm just very relieved. David actually helped me get these handles off, because they were giving me grief, as this whole makeover was up to this point. I saved the handles for another project, and I'm just cleaning up the drawers, filling in the holes, painting the drawers, and also painting the white base. I use sugar soap and a sanding block just to degloss and to give it a little bit more grip for the paint. The colour again is Crisp White, Taubman's Crisp White, and it's the same colour I used on my previous upcycle, and I used for a lot of, actually used it for a lot of upcycles. I thought along the side of the coffee table I would put some vinyl decals, and I was sort of experimenting before I started doing it up. That one actually is contact paper, which I could have used as well. The other one is vinyl. I was thinking, I'd sort of had my heart set on this design. I really liked it, and I did that one up on Canva. So I just went into elements and typed in repetitive stencil designs. If you want a flower design, you could type in flower stencil designs, and then I exported that. I downloaded it with a transparent background. That was the green I was going to use. That's a proper vinyl, but it wasn't the right color, I didn't think, and I'm ruining that decision now. So I decided on pink because my daughter suggested it, and pink, I love pink. For a piece of furniture, I'm not too sure whether it was the right choice at this point, but I thought I would do a pretty floral design since I was doing pink. And so I just popped it into the Cricut and cut it out. Fun to weed. This was a little bit hard and a bit nerve-wracking, and not each piece was weeded the same. Some of the intricate pieces sort of came off, and I was thinking, you know, I had to get it right, but when it was put on, you don't notice that. I think because of the style of design, the vine design, like, it just wasn't noticeable at all. So after I had weeded each piece, I then put some more vinyl on, and I just kept repeating the process. I needed 8 pieces in total, 4 for each side. I decided to distress the base as well. Originally I was just going to leave it plain, but it would have looked a bit weird as a vintage piece with the top all distressed, at the bottom was plain and neat. So I decided to distress the legs, the sides, and the drawers. This would have had to have been one of the best parts of it. I just love putting the vinyl on and seeing that pretty pink with that pretty green. It's just gorgeous. It was a bit difficult to do when taking the transfer tape off because some of the paint started to peel off, and I was sort of stressing out about it, but Georgia was watching me and she said, "Mum, isn't it the vibe you're going for?" Because I had sort of distressed it before that anyway and taken paint off. And I thought, well, that's true, that's the vibe. It's a vintagey piece. It's not meant to be perfect. I got these little lolly jars from Kmart, I'd seen them online and I thought these lids would be cute handles. So for a pack of 4 of these, it was $4. So $1 pretty much for each cork lid, and I was going to make that into a handle. I was going to put that on the drawers. I was tossing up whether to do that, whether to paint the original handles. I didn't know what to do. In the end, I thought that would look nice with the rattan look table topper placemat I have on. It sort of ties in. It ties in more with the vintagey look as well. So I'm just finding where to put it on the drawer, just measuring half lengthways and half widthways, and using my maxi nails to apply the handles. What started out in my mind turned out nothing like the final product, but actually I love it. It is such a pretty pastel vintage piece and I couldn't be happier. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my journey, and it was really a journey, this one. Stay tuned for up and coming videos, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing in sight, forever in flight, follow those lines, we'll make it this time, blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight, oh yeah, we'll make it tonight, yeah.